Hello people, my name is John Manimas Medeiros. The name Manimas is actually my real name, which I use as a pen name when I self-published my book, The Primacy of Stewardship in 2009. I use the name John Manimas as my name as a candidate. I'm a presidential candidate. I really am a presidential candidate. In the election of 2020, registered with the Federal Elections Commission. The videos on this channel, Primacy Cinema, are mostly about the project which I call, and of course others know it as, the Real Democracy Project or the Real Democracy Party. That's the primary website. That is the only website that conveys all of the information about this revolution by vote, the opportunity for non-voters to register and vote. Instead of abstaining from voting, they can vote and cast a ballot, which is very much like casting a ballot in a referendum on the two-party system. When you write in John Manimas for president, you are voting against the two-party system and for election reforms. Because I'm sure many others, believe that we must have elections reforms and we must change the two-party system because the two-party system is causing a tremendous destruction of our government and of our democracy in America. Now, the main issue here is, are non-voters going to vote? Are they going to register and vote? Because if they don't, we're just going to continue doing what we've been doing for 120 years. For 120 years, 40% of the electorate do not vote. That's 2/5 of the voters. 40% in 2020 is approximately 94 to 95 million American citizens who have decided that voting, participating in our democracy, is a waste of their time. It's not important enough for them to take the time to do it. It takes about as much time as it does to order a pizza and take it home and eat it. It takes about as much time as it does to look up something on your cell phone or your computer, to look for a movie to watch. It takes about as much time as it does to go out to dinner. Of course, you can devote more time to it if you really want to know what you're doing when you vote, if you want to learn about the candidates, who they are, what they stand for, and what they will probably do and not do if you vote for them. But I believe, beyond any doubt in my mind, that the two-party system is killing us. It's a seesaw. We just go up and down, back and forth. Yes, no, right, left, good, bad, crazy monster, criminals, accusations, blaming, investigations. Who's doing the job? Who's doing the government? It's not the people you vote for, apparently. They're too busy counting their money. Anyway, the two-party system is a wreck, and if you want to learn more about it, there are many websites with information, of course, but the one that I and a few friends provide is realdemocracyparty.org, www.realdemocracyparty, like one word, .org. And all the information is there about how you have that option in 2020, if you're a non-voter, to participate actively instead of passively. Instead of jumping up and down and stamping your feet and screaming and saying, I'm not going to vote, I'm not going to vote. I hate government, I hate politics. Instead of doing that, you can be a good citizen and you can participate. And this time you have an option that you've never had in any previous election. You can vote against the two-party system and for election reforms. Now, I've discovered that one of the best ways to find this website is other than just to type it in the URL space, realdemocracyparty.org, is if you use a search engine, you search first for the John Manimas campaign. And then you search for the revolution by vote. And you'll find that website, therealdemocracyparty.org. So all of the videos. Not all of them. There's a few that are on other topics, but a couple of a booklet I wrote in 1968 called "The Case Against the President's War," and the book that I self-published in 2009, "The Primacy of Stewardship." So you see, those two publications are relevant, but that's not the main point here of this channel, Primacy Cinema. I call it Primacy Cinema because the primacy of stewardship is my perception of the parables. It's a long story, but essentially I read the New Testament in 1958, and it struck me that it seemed like the parables were talking about science, not moral philosophy. And I studied it for many, many years, 35, 40 years, studied other religions, finally put it together, and basically, if your mind is open, if you can open it and you can set aside the institutional and traditional myth, which has been with us for 2,000 years, that Jesus was teaching a moral philosophy, was teaching about the difference between being a good person and a bad person, and that maybe he was telling us something, some scientific truth, something important, what we need to know in order to survive and thrive. Well, that's what I saw, and it took me my whole life to figure out how to try to express this and share it with others. And that's what this book is about. But you need to understand, this book tells you that the essential message of the parables is an environmental message. It's about environmental care, stewardship, not just care of the environment, but care of the people and property entrusted to us. So for me, the real message of the parables is a scientific message, the most important science humans can hear. If we do not take care of the people and property entrusted to us, we can lose it all. We can lose everything. Everything. Our identity, our freedom, our right to live on this planet, our right to be in control of our own lives, if we can demonstrate that we're capable of being in control of our own lives. So you see, to me, that's how important environmental protection is. It's cosmic. It's of cosmic importance. It's not only of importance to us on this planet, it's the most important thing in the universe. That's the message of the parables that I see. And I've tried to share it. But you see, that's only one of the problems that we need to address through the use of our government. We need to address environmental protection, changes in technology, changes in human employment, changing in our economy, changing in how we manage money, and what should government do and not do, drug problems, what do we do with abundance? This is what we've been struggling with throughout the 20th century and now in the 21st century. We don't know what to do with our abundance. We don't distribute it well. We don't even share. We teach our children to share. Adults don't share. We don't know how to share the abundance of our economic system. We argue about it. We fight about it. Chemistry. Better living through chemistry. Oh yeah, better living through chemistry. We are killing everything that lives with our toxins and our poisons. And it's important for you to hear it's not the corporations that are bad or negligent. It's us. Business corporations don't manufacture and sell things that nobody wants. We're the ones who buy the oil and the coal. We buy the toxins. We buy the poisons to spray on our trees and on our lawn and put on our children to keep away the mosquitoes. We want poisons, and we pay good money for them, and we buy them. We buy the products that produce too much carbon dioxide and methane. We buy the products that poison our rivers and lakes and the ocean. So we have to address those problems. And it doesn't mean we're going to find somebody to blame and punish them. If we want to punish the people who have caused environmental harm, then we need to punish ourselves, because we're the ones who did it, all of us. including myself. It's a kind of addiction. People have pointed out that we're addicted to chemicals. Not only chemicals that we ingest, but chemicals that we use. So that's what the videos on this channel are about. They're about the opportunity that non-voters have in 2020 to vote as though they're voting in a referendum on the two-party system. I have no intention and no conviction that I can influence registered Democrats and registered Republicans. I don't want to waste their time or mine. I'm not trying to change their votes. You're a Democrat, great. Vote for Democrats. You're a Republican, vote for Republicans. You're undecided, then you have to do what you think is best. I want the attention of the non-voters. We cannot continue having 40% not vote. We have minority rule. We've had minority rule for 120 years. And it has to stop. We have to have majority rule. And in order to have majority rule, everybody has to vote. Well, there's more. There's a lot of details. The information is all spelled out at realdemocracyparty.org. This little introductory video has been longer than I intended. But I hope you got an idea of who I am and what I represent. My vice presidential candidate is Henry Jackson. He's a brilliant man. He's younger than I am, and he's in his mid-50s. And he knows a lot about economics. He's worked for government as I have. I've worked for government, for local government, for state governments, and I worked for the federal government for 2.5 years. So I didn't learn just from books. I learned from studying. I didn't engage in my projects, my websites, and these videos because I'm rich and have lots of free time. I've always done this on my own time. I've always worked for a living. I inherited nothing from my parents, zero. And I work for a living, and this is part of my work. This is the part of the work that I really want to do, to share my different viewpoint or my different viewpoints. Because although I see things differently than other people, I think everyone can benefit from hearing a different viewpoint. They can ask themselves, is there something good here? Is this guy right about something, or is he just another opinionated person? Well, that's for you to decide. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you benefit from these videos on primacy cinema, because that's the intent. Thanks for coming along with me, and I wish you the best. And I dearly, dearly hope that you will think seriously about whether we really can continue with this two-party system, which is falling apart and becoming extremely destructive. God bless you. See you next time.